We are live. Hey, Global Inspiration Nation. This is Mr. Michael Adams from Keep Inspiration Alive, talking about dreams. Dreams, and the meanings they have behind them. So, I just attended an event at Jennifer Hart's, the Connected Soul Network, and they had an event with Amanda Schumann, who is a dream specialist, helps us, uh, helps us. I just realized I plugged into my microphone. Whoops. Anyway, so it helps us understand our dreams on a deeper level. So I want to keep with the confidentiality of the people that were in the group because we keep it as a sacred space. But I can share my dream. And I'd like to share like my insights on what came about and help us some of the teachings of understanding dreams. Again, I'm going to keep to the confidentiality of it all. So I'm going to be very conscious about like just speaking specifically about me, right? And my interpretation of this all. So that was my second time going to the event, and so this is the Connected Soul Network. By the way, I'm going to be interviewed on Saturday 11/11 for the portal that day, as it's going to be the 1 year. So go check that out over at the Connected Soul Network. Beautiful community. Can't tell you enough how much beautiful that community is, and just the amazing stuff I'm constantly learning about. And today I was learning about dreams and understanding dreams. And what I like about Amanda Schumann is she doesn't speak about dreams from like a dynamic of like, oh, so you had a dream about, I don't know, let's just say like a teddy bear. Let's look it up. So the teddy bear representation, like most people do, it's not from that dynamic. What I love about Amanda Schumann is she comes at it from a perspective of like, okay, lean into it with your own intuition. Like, what does it mean to you? Right. And then, like, as we share, I went there because I forgot what my dreams were. I forgot what I was having dreams about. And I was like, like I know I've had dreams. I just can't remember. And she's also telling us that this season is the Scorpio season. So it's a season of shadows. So if like a lot of people, I guess during this season, this is something I've learned. So there's during this season, it's we may like stir up like shadows, like shadow work. Like so maybe people might have nightmares or dreams that are kind of like disturbing or trying to make sense of them. And she helped us like understand that. And it was really amazing. And so if you're having nightmares during this season, I forgot to ask how long the Scorpio season is, but she was talking about during the Scorpio, see, or what uh, astrology thing she's working off of. But so the Scorpio season will bring up, it could bring up uh, dreams that maybe it could be a little disturbing to us. But she says if we look at it, we can identify it because this is like a great way to like lean into it because like these dreams, they actually have deeper meanings. And so we find the meaning within that. Okay. And then like as we share, people share, like I ended up like remembering like a couple of my dreams. I'm like, oh yeah, wait a minute. I remember having a dream, and it was like right before the autumn equinox, if I remember correctly. Right before the autumn equinox, I had a dream about like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It was like me and a bunch of people, and we're all in there. And I was like, oh, I'm going to share this because like this was really interesting. It was like kind of like funny to me. It was like kind of silly. So kind of like, what was that? I was like, I woke up kind of like laughing, it was like really entertaining. And we did like an exercise revolving around this. So I was able to like pull out even more meaning behind it through like the subconscious. Subconscious is so interesting. And she, oh, by the way, before I forget, she also talks about that it takes like dreams, like don't always like come to life right away. Like sometimes dreams can come to light, like sometimes as later as like 20 years later, and we like think about it or remember the dream and we make that connection. She's worked with shamans. She's worked with she's gone to like training with shamans, gone to like special. So she's really trained within this. She lived in Guyana, the country Guyana, down South America, and she lived there with her husband. I think her husband's a shaman too, if I remember correctly. And so she's got a lot of like insight on dreams, and she's been studying dreams for like a really long time. So it's always like super, super fascinating. And so like I had that dream about Willy Wonka, and that like I was in a place where it was like pink water, and I'm like, wow, pink water. And then like I was like, it came to like make me remember like how silly it was and how funny it was, but there's deeper meaning behind it. I was talking about how like there's trees. I'm like, I remember that there was like trees, but there's cotton candy trees all over the place and like candy things. And then a slide popped up out of nowhere, and I slid down it and like went into like the pink water, but it was all gooey. It was all like just really gooey. And they were like, we all laughed. And then like it was like really, truly, truly amazing. And so like my representation of that, she's like, well, what is the meaning behind that? So like it sounds, it kind of sounds like it's a little like playful. Anyway, so I dove in. She had us do an exercise to like pull up any symbology that comes from dreams that we may have, any symbology that comes from it. I'm like, well, symbology was the pink water, the gooey pink water, and the slide, and me like sliding down it, and that was a representation. So it's like find the representation symbology within it, and don't look at, this is why I like her, don't look at like those like dream books. Look within yourself. Like, what does it mean to you? Because it's all going to have different meanings to you. Because like, so like say like that water, like pink water, like that can have different meanings to you. Like if someone may have like maybe like almost drowned as a young child, it's going to have like a different meaning. Or maybe someone's like an Olympic style, swimmer, that could have a different meaning as well. And so it's really about diving into your own. And so like I kind of came to like a realization. It was like, oh wow. And it was like I jumped into the business of how I think my business should be. It's about playfulness and also being assertive. And then I kind of came to realize it was like shortly after that, I jumped into my writing journey and how much fun I've been having with that, because I created like a playful dynamic of that. And then also as I came to another realization, just listening to people, like when people open up and share, it like stirs up memories and helps other people to like open up. And it helped me remember a dream of someone that passed away. And dreams of people that pass away are like divine messages. And so we look into it, right? And so it's like the divine trying to like tell us a message. It could be from that person. It's like it's a divine. It's a message from the divine. So whenever like we have someone that passed away, so I had a friend pass away, and I had a dream about him like a year later, and I went to look back. She's like, if you wrote it down, like I did a post on it, and she's like, if you could look back onto that post, you will see that there's a divine message. So anything that he may have said or done, or the meaning that was within that, there's a divine message within that. And so like I went back and immediately looked. I'm like, wow, like I just was just like, well, first off, it stirred up some emotions, because I was just like, because it made me reflect back. So it was just a little over a year ago. There was a homeless man that I was helping, and I took him under my wing, and then he ended up passing away. Towards the end, his addiction got the best of him, and at the end, I kind of shunned him, and I felt really bad about that, and I just felt like really bad. And then, but in the dream I had, it was like him. He was like him, me, and my family. We're all sitting on the. We're all at. We were having lunch, and he was sitting on the floor by choice, but he was like, being a little awkward, like he kind of always was. But like we all accepted him completely for who he was and what he was, for who he was and how he spoke and how he conveyed himself. And the meaning I got from that, like when I wrote it down in that post, was that it's to always fall back into those values, the values of, and one of my bigger values are family and friends. And I'm like, wow, that's really interesting, because like right now, it like kind of like made me like recognize, because if that's a divine message, it's a message from the divine. When we dream about someone that has passed away, and always tune into that. That's what Amanda Schumann at the Dream Circle at the Connected Soul Network recommended to me. Find that post and look, because it's a divine message. And so Amanda Schumann's like, I'd be very interested to see what that was. And like we all got goosebumps, and it was all like, woo. And And so it's really interesting because right now I'm doing some NLP work with MER, and it's an 11-week process. It help you resolve uh, to eradicate like negative emotions that are within us. We do like a breakthrough session. And then right now he gave me homework, and part of my homework was we also identified what my values were, like my absolute top values. And I was like really blown away by that. I have a notebook of it somewhere. I'm not going to pull it up, but so with that, my homework was to like take my values and and then so like what I have to do is like take so I came up with 9 values. I came up with a list longer, but there was like values that like meant the same thing. So we condensed them. Like if you were to take like those 4 mean the same to me. So he's like, okay, well, if you were to take all 4 of those values, which one would cover all those? I'm like, well, that one. He's like, okay, well, condense that down to that because you and your subconscious mind will know when you look at that, it means all those different things. And then we started to do he gave me the homework process to work on values. And so he's like, now what you're going to do is we're going to go into uh, a deeper dive of your like what getting a better, deeper meaning of what each value word means. So, and then we're going to work on your SMART goals for the next like 3 months. And we do like to understand like where I'm going. So we want to have so we got rid of the negative emotions, and then we want to have a compelling future that we're going towards. But anyways, within the values, so my top 3, I have 9 total, but my top 3 are driven, fun, and freedom. And so it's like comparing this to that dream that like got stirred up tonight at the Dream Circle with Amanda Schumann, the Connected Soul Network. I was like, oh wow! So there's no coincidences. That's first off. I don't believe in coincidences at all. Hey, Cindy Engel, I see that you're here. Hi, good to see you. And the Wiggle Jiggle and Giggle Queen at Reach for the Higher Feeling, Reach for the Higher Thought, right? And so within the values, so it came down to so driven, fun, and freedom. And so we take every single one, and then we like identify like what does it mean to you. There's just like a whole bunch of like stuff like deep dive. So we go through like the top 6 of them. And then so like that dream, since I'm doing this work, like to like really deep dive into like what my core values are revolving around career. This is like a career-based value system, core value system revolving around career, which driven, fun, and freedom, and creativity, helping people. There's a whole list. I won't go into all of them. I'll tell you the first 6: driven, fun, freedom, creativity, helping people, and playfulness. Playfulness. So this is a correlation between the dreams. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's really interesting. So playfulness. Anyways, I'm like having epiphanies right now as we speak. So the correlation with that dream, when my friend passed away, and within that dream, the meaning that I pulled from it when I went back to go look at it was like to stay with your values, like stay with your values. Your values will pull you through. Your values, like just like just come back to your core values. And I'm like, wow, like that's amazing. Like that was like what I'm working on right now, core values. And then the dream prior to that like I did the work on during the session at the event with the first one that I remembered, which was the Willy Wonka like land and slides, and I was with like a group of people, and they were kind of hesitant, and I like went and a slide popped up, and I went down the slide, jumped in, right, and then so like that dream was like I was like very playful, but it was also about being very assertive to like just jump right in, like lead by example, and I was actually one of the oh wow, that's really interesting, and so like when I was doing that work on the NLP with the breakthrough session, that was like one of the things that like my subconscious was pulling from me to like lead by example. So like one of the things through the NLP breakthrough session, I'm going like a scroll right now because like I'm having so many epiphanies. Wow, this is like mind blowing. So the NLP work, when I was doing a deep dive within that to like release all this stuff, go deep into the subconscious mind, it was like my subconscious was telling me to like, I need to work on myself first. Like you got to work on yourself first, like before you help other people. And I'm like, well, that's interesting because it was like, I always had it reversed. I felt a need that I needed to like help people. and then like alongside of like, doing the work on me. Right. And like I had a lot of resistance from that. Like my body just like resisted that. I kind of pushed people away and I could never figure it out. So I was like, oh, that's really new to me. And so, wow, this is really amazing. That dream circle is like, whew, having all sorts of epiphanies right now. This is like mind blowing. Okay, I'm going to end it here with the. I'm going to leave a thing. I'm going to be getting interviewed. Come check me out. All right, I'm going to be getting interviewed. It's going to be the Connected Soul Network's 1-year anniversary, and it's going to be on 11/11 on the portal. Bring a jelly donut. They're going to have some kind of ritual that they're going to be doing. I'm going to be interviewed at 1:10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And it's at the Connected Soul Network, which will be like live streaming on Facebook from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. It's going to be like an all day like event. There's going to be like a lot of interviews, a lot of like coaches, healers. We're going to do some exercises. Some people are going to do like, right. It's just going to be fun, So each person will have like a 15-minute interview where Jennifer Hart, the founder and creator of the Connected Soul Network, will interview the people and who comes on. And then after that, they will share. And I'm going to share some stretching exercises to like really help people, just to kind of help. It'll help with mental health. And I'll just leave it at that. And then I'm going to be stepping out of my comfort zone by doing that. And there's going to be a lot of other amazingness in there. And I am going to be still working on the when it comes out, I'll let you guys know. I'm writing a book to really help people like push through and break through themselves, to really help hone in on their most authentic self. As the journey that I've gone on, now I want to pay it forward, right? So there you have it. And former addict, we got off all the drugs, so I can relate to addicts and help them. So just to kind of give you a relatable story real quick to help check it out. Anyways, I'll end it there because I got to get to writing up some of my values and head to bed. So I am Mr. Michael Adams, and this is Keep Inspiration Alive. Until next time, and hope to see you there at 11/11 at the Connected Soul Network. Toodaloo, people. Oh. Hey, Cindy Eagle. Cool. I didn't know I could do that. Now I know. Thank you, Cindy. Good to see you. Toodaloo, people.